We're back.
Ladies and gentlemen, roosters and hens, and everything else in between, talents have been live since Cock Talk is live. We are back. And as always, from the Coop Collective,
I'll give you a do-over
at MBF Express. No, that was on purpose.
Because I wasn't recording until you had the blender, so.
Oh, no. Do we need to start over?
No.
Why does it sound like a wind tunnel, though?
Yeah, it does sound like a wind tunnel.
It's probably my mic.
Yeah, your mic's hot. I told you that earlier.
Come on, audio engineer.
Nope, no one's here yet.
I can't help it. My air conditioner is literally on the other side of this wall, so. Or the furnace and everything.
It's better now.
Well,
whatever it was.
It's a good thing this isn't 1 year. That's next week. But as always, from the Coop Collective, I am Tyler at MBF Express. We have Josh screwing everything up at Grateful Coops, but we wouldn't be here without him. So, but it's his fault.
Screwing everything up. I could get you out of here right now,
Josh,
sir.
is my thing.
Boot you right out of here, sir.
Racing. I'm trying to get through my thing, Josh. And David Pecking Order Racing. Gentlemen, how are we doing tonight besides Josh?
Doing good. Doing good.
That's good.
Doing all right.
How about you, Josh?
Yeah.
Josh, how you doing?
Love you, friend.
I'm doing all right.
All right. So looks like everything is working out a little bit better now, but we've had a little bit of fun with this tournament going on. Some mixed reactions from the tournament here and there. I think all in all, just as a quick little, we'll wait till the dev.
I have a problem with calling these tournaments. First off, these are events.
That's kind of fair. I mean, these are events. Kind of
a tournament is where I'm like in some type of bracket situation.
So that's what it feels like.
I don't know of any tournament that doesn't involve a bracket.
That's fair. I understand what you're saying. I mean, it is a race event. There's a contest for sure.
Yeah, contest. Yes.
I think this
challenge.
There you go, challenge.
This has been a nice attempt. I appreciate the attempt. I do like the strategy, but it does make you a little locked to your computer waiting for those notifications coming from D3, or if you're not signed up for the D3 notifications for the daily double, you're just kind of waiting around to see when the next one will pop up. But it has been fun nonetheless. I've raced a ton of birds. So if you're basing it off of, well, did you still race? I did. So I can't really come at it too hard.
I always race though. So like I think I've had the same strategy now that I have pre-challenge. I just race my birds the same, try to win and try to downclass. I'm trying to make money. I'm trying to not lose my stack of cash.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, downclassing has not been easy during this tournament. That's for sure.
I mean, it's been wild though. The last week I've gone from, I was texting Tyler, I've been up and down. It's been a roller coaster.
Always up and down.
It's like, I wake up one day and I'm at I've got $20, and then I'm all the way down to $3, and then I'm back up to $40, and then I'm back down to $5.
Four loaded races away from going bankrupt. I mean, one of them to hit.
That's D-Gen things, man.
Just grinding the free races.
Then all of a sudden, I had
polar opposites.
I had all of a sudden I'm back down to 20 cents, and I had 4 races, and 3 of them were duds, and I was down to the last one, and I pulled it back off, and I was all of a sudden I dropped back at $50, and I'm like, all right, here we go.
And I dropped let's join his $8 race, and Josh was like, let's go, and he wins it. So
yeah.
And that's how it works.
I like taking your money.
Now, how many birds are you guys running? Are you running your whole coop, or
too
are you
many?
Running?
Yes,
and,
not all.
And so, do you think that's some of the reason why the funds are going away quicker?
I'll just but here's the thing: I was hovering around $30 all week. So I was racing on $30 all week and getting continuously running. I usually fill up about, I don't know, usually about 7 to 8 races max at a time. And then I'll let them run out, and then I'll go back and reload those same birds and just keep doing that until.
So now you're running the same 7 or 8 birds, or are you just running the best 7 or 8 based on when the tracks pop up and you looking at your grids and going through and seeing, oh, this bird's good here, but I'm going to put him in.
No, some birds I'm running pretty consistently, like some Sultans. Obviously, I'm sure you guys see Cheshire out on the tracks a lot. My Boy Blue. Those 2 birds are my only birds I have over 400 races. So, I mean, I'm running the shit out of those 2. But other than that, it's, I'm mixing a pretty good bunch in.
Yeah, I'm on pace for about it looks like somewhere between 10 to 15 birds that hit 30 races.
Yeah, I've got
which is dumb.
I've got 2 birds that, to 30 in S, 1 bird to 30 in A, and then 1 at 21.
Mm-hmm. I probably have 4 that I really focused on. Like there's one that's I'm still sitting back with 23 races because it's got a good number. It's got 500 points at 23 races. So I'm going to wait on that one a little bit. I'm still waiting for Road's what I need for that one. So I'm just trying to wait for those last 7. But yeah, all in all, it's still a bit too many, but it is fun. I do like
How many did you say?
But that I'm running total? Like
that you have to 30?
Oh, it's going to be like 10 to 15. Yeah.
Okay. See, I'll have probably 7.
Yeah.
Or 8. So I'm basically running like half of what you're running.
Yeah. I'm probably coming back with all 4 ice cream hats because I think I've got like 4 or 5 birds to 60 races, and then another,
I don't have
probably
any
8 or 9 at 30, 10 at 30, close to 30.
Hell, I've got a couple that got there just from trying to downclass. That was actually the tough part. Really, the tough part about this is once you got up, it was very difficult to find. Like, hell, if you just scroll down a little bit, it's the perfect case example for this right now.
Now, when you say trying to downclass,
it was an S class, Josh, when you were right there. My 97 Sarama somehow is sitting there amongst hundreds and 99s. I had no interest in trying to get that bird to win an S class. I was actually trying to downclass it to get the A, and I got podiumed in 2 races, and they were both multipliers. And I was like, all right, I'll just run with this. And that happened. And I think that right there is just indicative of people trying desperately to get out of S, because this bird did not win an S at all. Like it was a terribly unprofitable bird in S. And then once I got the A, it's actually
it does make sense that it would be the opposite of D class, where everybody has to win in D. Everybody's trying to lose in S class,
right?
Except unless you got like a premier bird.
Yeah, that's what's tough is I've got a 98 Sultan that just keeps winning and has been doing okay in S, and I keep showing Tyler, and I'm like, it's just got to be because everyone's trying to get back into A, right? I mean, it's got to be.
It's also, I mean, it's a CK47 talent, mine too. So it's not like a talent came in and boosted anything there. So I don't know. We're obviously seeing some new things. We're going to talk about with the way the talents are implemented into the dev blog, and I guess we can just wrap up talking about the little bit of this tourney and then roll into that dev blog because it was juicy. It was a good amount in there.
While we're on the down class, real quick, when you guys down class, let's say you down class from S to A. Do you try to downclass one more time while it's in A so that it doesn't automatically up class?
Well, what I'll do is I will go ahead, and if I'm confident, I will wait for some higher, like $5, $6, $8, $9 races that I know won't fill, and I'll try to get those locked in because I know those sometimes will take days to fill. I'll get those locked in right away.
So let their 3 hours or however many hours it is. And then you'll reload them.
And I'll try to get 2 or 3 locked in, but I don't try to downclass at that point just because like that 97 Sarama, once it gets into A, it kind of just wins races that I'm not trying to win. So if I could really screw myself just trying to downclass one time with like a 35-cent one and be right back in S. So I don't really test it, but that's only an A to S. In like C and D, that's a whole different story.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough. I typically just try to get, once I get a bird downclassed, I try to throw them into their best race for a little bit of decent change, at the off chance that I go right back to the class I was in, because it's a pain in the ass trying to get out of a class you don't want to be in sometimes, and it costs money, and it's like, well, I want to recoup some of that money, so I'm going to throw them into something that's a little more high stakes.
When you up class, does it feel like they go on a run maybe that they wouldn't otherwise while they're for the next few races?
So like, it's funny because like that's so some birds, like I'm comfortable, like for instance, my boy Blue, this is 2 of my birds that I've run the most, like Cheshire Cock and my boy Blue. Cheshire was down in C for the longest time, and then he got up into B, and I've had him all the way up into A and winning races. And it's, I've kind of just settled on the fact that he's a B bird, and I can get him out of A pretty quickly. My boy Blue, on the other hand, he's a C bird, and then he goes up into B. And sometimes I can, like, if there's a race that's his, like that I usually throw him into a C class, I'll throw him into B race to see if I can't sneak out another podium and double up quick. If not, but sometimes that doesn't happen. So then I'm just like, all right, well, I'm gonna D class, get him out of here.
I've tried all different ways. I've even tried what Sambo says here, as far as like he never tries to down class. He just lets it go naturally as it happens.
That's probably smart. That's probably
with the amount of
waste
birds,
a lot of my bird stats on trying to D class, and whether I'm trying to retain some resale value down the road of a good
part of that
percentage on the bird.
Part of it too, to Sambo's point of just actively not trying to downclass. Do we have enough info to really be actively downclassing yet? That's the tough part. Like
that's why you're
when I
having a hard time doing it.
When I downclass, it'll be the 30-cent races because I just want to be cheap.
Right.
That's
it. And that's what I look for. And the other thing is, it's not really downclassing. It's more of like, I guess, more data.
It's a combination
I don't race
of
this
both.
bird here very often. I'm going to throw it in this 35-cent race, and if I downclass, I downclass. But if I win it, on to the next one. You know what I mean?
Like if you've got two races ran in an average finish of 8 there, you might think, oh, I'm going to throw him in there. But to me, that is, if he loses, it's a win for me, right? Because I'm downclassing. But if he also wins, it's a win because I'm improving a certain spot on my grid.
The big thing for me is, personally, if I don't run these other, I look for 180 and 200, random distance, rock, dirt, road, track, and sand for those two sultans that I talked about. And the other ones, I throw them into the short distances, the cheap races, and I want to fill all those squares with more data though over time, because maybe, if I ran the piss out of these birds just strictly on 180, 200, and I'm missing, 120, or I've only got like 10 races in each box, that's not good data in my opinion, So, I mean, the more races that I can get with some of these birds, the better off I'm going to be down the road, where I can go, yeah, that's the spot right there.
Right.
Yeah, because I think I've had that challenge where it's like, oh, I got locked in on something I thought was a preference, and then I've got a bird with 100 races, but I've been running them heavily in one spot, and the grid's actually terribly unbalanced because I felt too strong too soon. And then I have a bird with 300 races where I'm just like, no, I'm going to keep spamming her into whatever is kind of cheap right now, see if I can find a home for her in A, because long term that's going to be better for me than trying to force a 93 Sarama to stay in B.
See, it's really tricky because like there is a point where your bird you may try really hard to make that bird be okay in A class and it just won't, like, no matter how hard you try. And that's what I ran into, like with that 97 Sarama, funny enough, that just happens to have done well in S now. I just looked at it real quick. I have over 200 races in S class. I tried hard to make that 97 White Beak Sarama be something in S class. It got 4 victories and 18 seconds. And then in 120 races in A class,
sounds like every Sarama that's in the wrong class right now.
Right. But with 100 less races in A class, it has 15 firsts, 16 seconds. So like, clearly this bird is a moneymaker for me in A class.
And if you were able to get that into B, how those numbers would be even more.
It would be, but it's really difficult to get this bird into.
You would have to spend a lot of money to get it into the B class.
Yes, I have zero races in B with this bird.
Yeah,
it's hard. I'll say this: it is harder to downclass my Saramas than any bird in my coop,
as it should be,
because they constantly get 6th to 9th place.
I really do believe that there is something with consistency there with Saramas that just simply make them a little bit more predictable, and therefore you don't have those big swings. I mean, obviously there's probably some Saramas out there that have some huge swings to them.
So
yes, Sambo, to answer your question quick, yeah, we were talking about that early on with Tyler's 97 somehow in 5th place in the S class of and I had a 9. I've got a 98 that's been picking up wins in S class too.
I've been funding
chalking
my
it up to classing.
I've been funding just the spamming of the tournament by taking birds that either I'm not trying to actively run in the tournament or that I've already ran through my 30 races and just picking and choosing the races I want. And I'm having a lot of success with that right now. So, because everyone is trying to down class.
Yeah. I got one more question, but remind me after. Get into the dev blog and then remind me after because I got something.
Okay, go ahead.
What's it?
Well, I was just saying what I've been thinking because I guess there's been talk about maybe doing away with free races. Or changing and tweaking some things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not pay out fourth place?
What in general or
sure?
Well, here's the thing. Like they threw a teaser out there, random little teaser that wasn't in a dev blog. That was just one of those little nuggets they do.
Right.
Where CDA said when no rake.
Yes, and that's
so was that trolling?
I mean, I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But so if you're gonna do that, why not pay fourth place?
But do we want fourth? Do we want fourth place paid, or do we want third place to actually start like feeling like
I think something? Here's what I think should happen. I think first place is a little overpaid right now.
What?
It is. It's a little weighted too heavy.
Yeah. No. See, it's so tricky.
It's a little weighted too heavy, which is fine because you got to think about your overall birds. How many birds do you have that are profitable?
I guess I do sometimes go, that sucks getting second because it's not that much more than third. But
it's a little bit.
Well, yeah, I get what you're saying. If they juiced it juiced third, second, and first.
And I'm not even saying your full entry fee back.
No, but I get what you're saying.
If it's an 80-cent entry, maybe you win 50 cents back. You could lose money and still win a little bit back by finishing fourth.
Well, I mean, they could keep the free races and not have any rake and pay more for those places again. Balance out second and third a little more.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they're going to do with free races. I know, back in the day, Dave and
they were fun when they were kind of $11 prize pools.
They were, but there was a lot of people that just wanted like free races to almost be completely free and have nothing coming back.
See, and when Zed did that,
it would be like dead data. Yeah,
I was playing Zed a little bit with the horse that I did have, and then once they changed the format, once I started getting into it, and there were still free races for some money, and then all of a sudden it was like Discovery, and you get all these free races for free, and it's like, what?
Yeah, free races. But they also had a giant botting problem with their free races, so it was just, for the most part, it was frustration seeing them fill and not get in them. We don't have that problem right now with the size of our user base, but that's just because if a free race in A pops up and I happen to be online, I can beat enough people to get into it.
So is there something that can combat botting, or is that just the way it is?
Well, that was the one thing I did see get brought up in the main Chicken Coop chat was just the idea that maybe after a certain amount of races, you can't enter free races anymore. After your bird has 100 races or 200 races, it's just like, okay, you've had enough.
That's actually not a terrible idea.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It keeps the cycle of birds getting free races going.
Right.
As a seasoned coop, right? I understand the value of the free races, especially if I've got unran birds. Like when breeding happens, I can see the value in free races. The more that I run my birds, I don't so much see the value in the free races. I'm throwing in my shitty birds that I haven't, that just to see, we'll throw a dart, I'm not even really, because I'm saving my birds that are going to win for the money races, right?
Yeah, I really kind of feel that I wish I could extract my free races from my data, and I'm at the point now where I almost don't want to do it.
I don't think they're still running against the birds in those classes.
It's true.
You're still running against the bird. So I think the data is there. I think it was more conducive on what the data would look like if a lot of people are running, maybe, because you'd have more random set of birds. Right now, it's 200 coops that are running.
So
two good points from the chat. Yeah. Going, Josh. Yeah,
that's what I was gonna go. Fledge, first of all, saying I don't like the idea of taking away value because someone played the game more.
Committed users, yeah.
John the Third says if they put a limit on free races per chicken, that could screw over the players buying used chickens.
Right.
Yes, sir.
And you just make and they do it by wallets, then they can just grab new wallets. So it's not like there's something there.
Yeah. And Sambo's answering, as far as he's aware, bots cannot pass a capture security.
Yeah, it's a simple enough thing to do for a free race in that regard, or just I don't know how many you want to do it for all the races, but it is a bit of a bummer because like the pod is like $1.50 for these free races, and the fact that someone would create a bot for that.
But again, and if you don't win because of the balance structure of first through third, if you get second or third, if I get third, I don't even get another race out of it in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to build a bot, it's going to be a lot more profitable to spam bad offers on the marketplace. You'll get ahead faster that way than by entering free races. Like, direct your bot energy kind of the maximum potential.
So, wanted to get into this. I was going to do a quick top 5 of the classes for the, daily double leaderboard.
Yeah.
Top Coop and Hemsworth, Better Blake Racing, the top 3 with 100 Saramas. Looks like Better Blake Racing has 6 races left to catch up to Top Coop, who has 3 at 700 points.
Yeah, 104
going to go on there. Walnut Hen House with Prince Poppycock looks like he could sneak up there. Yeah, going to be a tight one.
And there's me just clinging on the top 10.
One down there with 20. That's the one I would watch out for.
Yeah, with 540 at 20. Yeah, they're right there.
Yep.
Number 10.
Stewart. Stewart has been a monster.
Dirt Leg Racing has 20 with 520 as well. Nice. Yeah, that's going to be good. A-class, Stuart Miller, this bird. Mr. Snorlax, you've done well.
Yeah, first and fourth there.
Yeah, first and fourth so far. Yeah, so Bizarre Imaginarium, Whale Oil, Beef Hooked, Hemsworth Farm, rounding out the top 3.
Will be fucked.
We do have Chicken Express Spiver looking like if he does it right with the next 6 races, he could be in there.
He's got a chance, but man, the fact that in theory he could put another 100 points onto Stuart Miller and just get into the 800s is insane. It's totally nuts.
He is strictly double in that.
Yep. And there's another one of my birds just barely hanging on in 9th. Just barely hanging on.
In B class, Hemsworth Farm, Top Coop, Rafter Walking, top 3. Better Blake Racing in the 5th place or 4th place there. Looks like we got an 18 here with Raw Dog, and Ranga has 12 races to go in C class. He could sniff that might out be at 522
Well, that might be down or an up class.
He's stuck in A class.
Yeah. Maybe.
Can't get the races in.
I've got my cardiac kid there with 7 to go at just about 500, so I'm really hoping I can make a move there. But I don't think I'm going to be able to get close to Alienware.
Yeah. C class, Parsnips Are Forever, Hemsworth Farm, Dr. Droob in top 3. Dr. Droob has 3 races left, and
got a shot. Yeah.
Yep, got a shot to take the top there, and looks like Dank Racing with Althea. 23 with 7 races left. He could be
the real Althea
in the hunt.
The real one.
Yeah, the real one.
The true and proper Althea.
I do regret naming my bird like the way I did.
Althea.
Cheating to get a name. Who does that?
It's all caps.
Josh was so angry that day. He was like, "You shit me."
Yeah, that was out of spite. But I'm not mad anymore. I just hate that bird now. But it is one of my favorite Dead songs. Come on.
Yeah.
D class, we got D's Clucks in the top spot, but
we'll make a run on this
Marco, 3 races left, could overtake that if he does it right. And let's see, anyone in the hunt? Dr. Drew with Devour has 19 races so far. Yeah, 11 to go.
Devour's a good bird.
Take a run there.
I've got 16 races in D. If I could just keep my bird there, I'm gonna make a run at that.
I ran my birds like dummy. Like the dummy.
I have over 300 points, so I'm on pace.
Okay,
I'm on pace.
Yeah, you need like a 20-25 point pace to really start thinking about that spot. But I mean, that can turn quick when you can double up and put a 50 up real quick.
Wally, is that real quick? Is that what he posted there? Is that in Chicken Derby or Zed?
Yeah, if that's in Chicken Derby, that's brutal, and it's possible. And it's worth saying. Yeah,
birds with $1,000 of free race profit.
Makes you wonder how much of that was when they were $11 as well.
What birds were these? I want to see these birds.
Yeah, we'll touch base on that. And they add up, and that's the thing that does kind of drive you.
So was that in closed beta when it was
$11
cashing in on that? Because absolutely.
Yeah, because I'm sure like my Coop has several $100 of free race profits because there of those early races.
$50 free races for a few hours. In the top 3 one.
That's the one that was botted by those 3
during the attack.
Birds. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's probably not what he's talking about there. But yeah. All right. Well, we do know that botting.
If that is the case,
races,
then obviously I could see how they would do away with free races.
Yeah, they got some problems on their hands. If that's the case.
Because then at that point, if that is the case. It's not going to the main Coop runners. It's going to just the handful that have set up a bot.
Yeah, whoever they may be. Because I do know that.
Are they providing any? Are they racing those birds in paid races as well, or are they just botting the free races? You know what I'm saying?
I'll have to touch base with Wally and find out. Check back with you guys.
Yeah.
But moving forward, let's go on the up and up here and get into this dev blog. What do you say, Josh?
Yeah. Hello, chicken fellows. Welcome to the weekly chicken development update. The Daily Double tournament has been going very well and performing as we expected. They knew we weren't going to get the giant bump in racing volume on day one that they normally get for a tournament, as people would want to choose their races more carefully. We've also expected that as time went on and people realized the opportunities for double points are dwindling, the volume would pick up. Over the last 4 days, we've seen continuous rise in the number of races ran each day, whereas in the previous tournaments, this would typically be falling at this point. Excuse me. Another thing that will help drive volume to the end of the tournament is the 50 race bonus, a clothing item given to the owner of each chicken that runs 50 paid races during the tournament. At the moment, over 40 chickens have reached this goal, and their prize will be one of these delightful double scoop ice cream hats. The Sarama Heritage. They go by Heritage. Dorking is a lemon and vanilla ice cream, Lackenfelder chocolate and mint, salt and raspberry, and Yube.
These are going to be rare.
Sarama is the bubblegum and strawberry.
These are going to be rare.
Yeah, I like them. Pretty cool.
50 races is a lot, number one.
Yeah.
And if it's just, here's another thing I hope with these items they're giving away. I hope they don't end up on a market later on down the road where anybody can buy them. I hope they're rare as they give them out. You know what I'm saying?
Well, but I also want there to be value to these things, so I wouldn't mind if they were sellable. An open market. Yeah,
no.
This is the only way to get them.
I'm not saying. I'm talking about adding more stock to the pile.
Yeah. So like, if 100 Saramas hit the 50 race, 100 bubblegum strawberries is all that ever exists.
I don't want to see. I can buy one down the road for 0.01. I'm
pretty sure these ones we're getting now are all like that. At least I'm hoping. At least the ones that are attached to hitting these parts like this. Yeah.
Wouldn't that add way more value to them if they were like exclusive items that you can only win during certain periods?
I think that'd be awesome. Maybe you get another color variation down the road. I mean, you could do a couple things with that, but I think the double scoop ice cream cone is a nod to the Daily Double, much like the 20K necklaces.
Yeah.
It's just a little more creative way of.
Yeah. I look at them.
The clothing at wearable.
Yeah. It's a wearable, but it's also kind of a pope, right? Like it's proof that we were around when this event happened.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Just a status symbol to have an ice cream cone.
The best prize of this Daily Double tournament, which a lot of reason why I wish I should have held on and paid attention to the double races a little more and not just degened, but Another prize in the tournament is a share of the race fund, which goes to the 5 first place winner within each of the leagues. It is built from part of the entry fees for each race and starts during the tournament. Currently, this stands at 1.2 WETH, but with us only halfway and raising race volume, we expect it to easily pass 2.5 WETH. And that will be broken down between the 5 winners by percentage, S-Class taking the highest percentage, and I believe it tiers down to D.
Wasn't it like 60% almost? I think. Something like that. Pretty
40%.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Here,
it's gonna be
not. It's in the.
You have to go to the channel.
Yeah. So, in development news, they pushed various updates over the past week. If you missed them, new layout for the chicken details page. Fixed to the blue egg animation. Sometimes the egg would appear on the targeted chicken for a couple frames prior to its starting its dive. That has now been fixed. Chick races are no longer mandatory, and various performance improvements.
I enjoyed this. I actually got 2 birds right away that I bought and just started running them. And I was like, this is the perfect time just to get some data on them and see what I can do in this tournament. So I was really happy with that change.
So here's the juicy part of this last week's development update. There has been a lot of general talk on our show last week about talents and people questioning how much of an impact they are having on the races, if any at all, as well as some speculation that talents were already affecting results prior to their launch 2 weeks ago. So to be clear, prior to the launch of talents on 27th June, talents had 0 effect on race results. Since their launch, talents have been affecting race results. If the logic says this chicken is going to use its jetpack in this race, then that chicken will perform better in that race than if it didn't do that. Likewise, if the logic says this chicken is getting an anvil to the face, then that chicken will perform worse than if that did not happen. So
and hey, at its core, like Sambo said last week, he just hoped they would just come out and bluntly say it. Well, they listened and they did. So that's actually really good. Like in the end, the fact that we don't have that like ambiguity anymore and it's right there. I mean, if you want to parse through the wordage and whatnot, that's conspiracy stuff. That it's all anyone can do that, and that's fine. People can always have their own opinion. That's what's so great about all this stuff here. But I do like the fact that they're just like, yep. Heard you loud and clear. Here's our direct response, and that's cool.
Speaking of anvil to the face, I've noticed that these anvils are hitting more random birds now. It seems. I'm noticing.
I'm still seeing it.
Not the front runner all the time though. It's
not all the time.
I'm noticing the one.
I'm supposed to point out that it does hit birds that are in front of you. So, I mean, whenever you throw that anvil up in the air, it is going to take out whatever birds are in front of you.
Well, largely,
but a lot of times it was hitting the top 3. And a lot of times it was telegrammed, like, that bird that's gone out 20 meters is either getting a blue egg or an anvil. So, or a helicopter's going to blow it up. That one I've noticed, too.
You said telegrammed, but it is funny just to think like a telegram coming with the anvil.
Not a telegraph.
Here you are, sir.
Telegram.
I'll be a touch more of a stickler on this and just still kind of feel like the fact that we don't see the talents almost ever go off in the front is just telegraphing it a little bit for me. I get it. I mean,
like the one or two chickens using their talents. It is always in the back.
A machete will sometimes go off if it's top 3, but I haven't seen like
very unlikely
or a chicken a pult. Chicken a pult, usually your chicken's in the back.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Like,
rightfully so.
I know
they've
said that these are the kind of tweaks they're going to make that it's not going to affect the outcome, but just for the entertainment value of watching a race.
But anything would affect the outcome, though, right? It would affect the outcome.
No, not at all. And here's what I mean by that. That's just tuning the way it looks. Because you almost have to kind of like reverse.
Not really. Hear me out.
Stay with just 1 second. Let me finish this. You have to kind of re-engineer the way you're looking at it. We are seeing the data that is spit out, and then we see a play out in front of us.
Yeah.
They're just changing the way the play looks, but the end is still the end. So last week we talked about my bird Cygnus. bolting out to the front, getting blue egged, and finishing 12th. The only thing I should be taking from that is that my bird finished 12th.
Right. Well, I mean, what I'm saying though is we were talking about talents going off at the front of the pack, right? So if those talents though, whether they do or don't, I guess is it's not. What am I trying to say here? I don't know.
Well, if they boost up, then they just need something to bring them back later, even if it's just a sleepy eye that brings them back to drop back into the spot they should have been. It's only because for me, I kind of see the predictability of some of the races, and I start to think like, all right, there's a bird just aggressively dropping back. They're almost, we had a good 75% chance their talent's going off, or a bird shoots out way in front. Almost certainly. I don't believe I've seen a bird take like a 10 meter lead and not get hit with something.
I know what I was going to say.
I actually have seen a jetpack in the front take off and fly further up and
keep going.
Lead.
Okay, fair enough.
My point is, if they do change that video and those front runners do start going off, it's going to change the outcome of the race. Right? For whatever reason.
But not if it's correlated to something else where they just go sleepy. And
let me ask you this then what's in the preset algorithm that's not allowing those front running birds to go off? Is there something that says if they're in a lead that they have a lesser percent chance of their?
Well, here I'm still a noob on this. I'll totally admit it. But with the help of BAWK Father, I've been looking at the API a little bit more and just going through it. It's actually crazy when you take the API and look at it on a Microsoft Word page. It is in standard Microsoft Word. It's not the way to look at it. I just wanted to do this for a point. It was 84 pages for one race. So it's an immense amount of data and each section is like they show every time something loop, true or false, did it go off? It doesn't go off. And they do
every bird.
Oh, yeah. and it keeps happening throughout, and each segment of the race is broken down. So if your talent would go off in the front of the race, I would imagine you would just need the API to later say in like segment 18 of the race that you get hit with the sleepy eye and you drop back and fall into the spot that you should be. It just creates a little bit more of an unpredictability.
So you're saying it's correcting it.
Right. That's it. It's just tuning. It's just tuning the visual, not changing the outcome, just for more fun for us. That's all. It's just to make it look more fun.
The talents, but that's leaning back towards talents don't affect anything though.
They do. They absolutely do, because when you roll and the count and the thing gets calculated. Yeah, when the algorithm gets calculated, it absolutely is in there. It's just the visual we're seeing that changes it a little bit.
Right, but I guess the point is that those talents are impacting the race.
Right.
Where if those talents go off as a front runner, that's impacting the race even more drastically.
And as you know, Dr. Drew John III comes in and says they want to keep all the birds group
right. I think that's the key.
Too.
That's
we might
part
need
of
a floating camera before we can have that, and maybe we will see it later on. But yeah,
I think this is kind of to my point, because I think there's something in that is saying that they don't want those front running birds to get too far stretched out from the pack.
That's fair.
Fletch says you're boring me.
So back to the blog.
I know.
No, but here's something I was just thinking of. Maybe the dice roll is more in your favor if you are in the back of the pack. You know what I'm saying? So like if the race starts,
your odds are better.
Your odds are better if you are in from 6th till 12th. You have a better chance of your talent going off than if you were in 1st or 6th.
So to explain it to you like you're 5, in Mario Kart, you get better items when you're in 12th than when you're in 2nd.
Exactly.
Right? Like the same sort of logic could be applied in the API.
Kind of hate that too. But yeah, I understand.
But to keep the pack clustered, which we know is a stated sort of goal of the development team.
Yeah.
But if you're going to finish 3rd, you're going to finish
I get it.
3rd.
I'll put my soapbox away. Yeah.
I'm just saying, that's just where my brain goes thinking about it of why, why does my chicken and pole always go off when I'm in the back? Well,
I'm sorry. I wanted to talk actual smart things with you people.
Well, you're
fuckers. Okay. I hear, no, not you guys. Ramble is like, I went to Phil races while he was talking. Like,
and you're right. I do just want to go smoke, but that's all.
Yeah.
To the blog.
Do the blog.
We haven't talked about it for a while, but here's some 3D metaverse sketches. No. But while we have been continuing work on the metaverse in the background, as per our funding goals back from summer of last year, next weekend is 1 year Annie. Yeah. There have been a number of changes from our original plans, some of which were on the white pages. Excuse me. But we have now settled on what we want to deliver to you first. Our initial goals are mint for land NFTs and private beta for metaverse access, farming to generate food, which provides temporary buffs to chickens, stadium ownership so users can create their own races. I like that. And crews for team events. Now, this has been kind of a little touchy subject around parts. The farming to generate food, which provides temporary buffs to chickens. One thing that's been said is tokens are bad. Or, not just tokens are bad, but
they can be. They have a really bad history.
And they can ruin games. And, the other is the buffs to these chickens. What kind of buffs are these chickens looking at? If there are buffs to chickens, you're probably unlikely to see a race where a chicken isn't buffed. So what does the buff even do, right? Or is there a multiplier with, you got to think a little further down with buffs. Like what if you got the triple rare combo bird that's got a heritage comb and waddle and alien eyes and stripes, and you buff it, and it's got a better buff than just
how
your
I see it?
typical white eggshell dorking.
Here's how I see it. I think each chicken's going to have five corn cobs. And as you feed them, those corn cobs are going to fill up. And as you race them, those corn cobs are going to drop. So you might have 2 corn cobs full and somebody else is running with a full chicken. Does that make sense?
Well, I guess it does. It means that you'd have to.
The corn cob part threw me off, but
no, I got
stars instead of stars. I can see it being corn
Yeah.
cobs or wheat
or like
whatever.
just a bar.
Right.
I follow, and that would mean that you'd have to be active, not just racing, doing a different part of the game and be there,
or buying those from somebody that's being active.
That's the tough thing too, is that I know that's something Fledge has brought up, or it worries him and worries not just him, there is a worry in general of just someone being able to just buy their chickens to be fully buffed every time because they have the bags to do it. Now,
well, let's talk about this, because you're only going to be able to, the majority of the crops that are grown are going to be on private land. There is going to be some public crops from what they were saying, but the majority is going to be on private land.
Which people
not everybody is going to have private land right off the bat.
But if I'm the richest,
if you're the richest, you're going to have
crops. I can go get whatever I want.
Right.
And then go win the high stakes race.
Yeah. Well,
but they've also spent that money to get that. Should they be able to grow those crops just like in real life, right?
It is a hedge.
Yeah, and that's the fine line on like the pay to win fear, right? Buying 100 Sarama is kind of pay to win.
It is, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, 100%.
Buying crops is kind of pay to win, depending on how the buff actually.
It's more like pay to improve.
Possibly. I mean, it still probably won't guarantee you winning, right? The buffed out 100 Sarama isn't going to win every race, but they're going to win too often.
I think that's why I was hoping that
I'm sorry, I was just reading what Flood said.
That's great. That's awesome.
That chicken looks like he's 1 cob short of a racer.
But yeah, that's why I was just hoping that it would be a little more strategic. Like you could choose your buff. Well, you could choose something like, what do you want to buff on your chicken? What stat? What percentage? Do you want to make your talent deployment go up 2% in this race? Do you want to make your defense go up a couple percent in this race?
Here's another thing.
A little more of just like picking and choosing, where it feels like you can have a little bit more of a control and strategy.
Doesn't say only racing buffs.
Right. Very true.
So
I think we've assumed that.
What if a full chicken doesn't race as well, but maybe breeds better?
Possible. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Or maybe there's that happy medium to where he races good here. There's that maybe a plus or minus scale.
Yeah, maybe your breeding cooldown goes faster.
So there's ways that they could,
buffs.
there's a lot of things that they could do with that doesn't make it whoever, like we were saying before, feed your chickens the most and you're going to win every race. Right?
Yeah.
I do like the idea though of having the public farming, but I kind of like we're the early users into this.
Mm-hmm.
So this is kind of them giving us back.
Yeah, if we have
ability to control the farm, and if this is what's needed for, and who knows, maybe it's 10 cents. We don't even know, 30 cents a bushel or whatever.
But you know what? It is as something that Wally just sent over, and when we were talking about the free races earlier, and CJ sent over that Piccolo bird. Piccolo has done like $20 in race entries total and has $327 in profit with like 124 first place. And it seems like they're just running all freeze. So yeah, 10 cents, but 10 cents over and over and over and over and over again. Yeah, that can add up quickly depending on how many birds you have. So
right, as long as there's people buying them, though.
Yeah.
But you've got to have the people buying that.
Yeah.
Again, we could grow crops all day, but if there's no incentive for people to buy it, it doesn't mean shit.
Sure.
Right. At the end of the day, I'm going to feed my birds, and what I'm going to do with the leftover crops, if nobody's buying them,
yeah, they need to be
nothing. Right. It's everybody's now got boosted birds, and we're sitting with a bunch of crops that nobody else is.
It is a good point. If they're going to institute some type of crop, then it needs to be something that people will pay for and want.
Well, it has to come and go. It has to be something
that has to be used.
Yes.
Right. It does have to be used. It needs to be something that,
or maybe even throw wrinkles into it where the crops get spoiled from time to time randomly. Just like you get hit with an anvil in the face, sometimes your crop gets spoiled, and maybe you got to wait another X amount of times down the road to restore your crop.
Yeah.
There's things they could do to mitigate some of the
right,
like monopolizing certain things. Right. I think that's the fear. We don't want one or a handful of people controlling everything. If it's all spread out, it could work. And so there's ways that they can stop that monopolizing.
Yeah, I guess the biggest problem in the chat is just people are worried that if you're going to have a boosted bird, or don't even race it, and that's what the fear is. And that's a fair fear. You know, it really is a fair concept that will be the problem. You know, but I know they're listening, and I know they're thinking this through, and obviously we're just going, Josh, get a hold of yourself, will you?
Not that funny. Man, I got these cheeseburgers, man. Sorry.
Jesus Christ.
White be God. Why you gotta do this to me? Make me crack up, and remember, don't be of good movies. No, he's just saying.
We'll have to see. Yeah, but I get it. The fear is there, and I know they're listening, and I know that they hear us in the chats and whatnot. So I hope that it's going to be something that maybe we're just, not quite considering.
Yeah, I don't know. Boosts, breeding perks, breeding boosts, racing boosts. If it happens, everyone's gonna do it, or they won't be able to compete. But it's one of those things. If it's something that's regularly used like that, it's gonna be dirt cheap to use.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it can't be like $1.
That's what I'm saying, 10 cents.
$1 per thing, or $1 per whatever when you go to it. Like if it was like a currency of some kind and you were to exchange it, I mean, it would be like fractions of penny. I would imagine, right?
Yeah.
Unless to be sustainable, in my opinion, it would have to be.
To be sustainable, regardless, people have to race and play the game. Period. So that's the number one thing that they have to focus on is.
Yeah, well, that's what Jay Mooney said. He said, I hope that they kind of just perfect this before they really and make it popular and bring people in before they kind of drop all this stuff. However, if they want this to be part of the game long term, then maybe they want it done as soon as possible. So, yeah,
they can work out the kinks. I mean, there's a lot to it.
There's a lot there, yeah.
But like I said, the number one thing that's going to keep this game going is the racing. The metaverse, obviously, if there's other mini games and stuff like that crop up, okay, now maybe then we can say it's not just racing, but for now, that's what's gonna make this game grow.
However, I will say this part, you know, and Dave probably can speak this too with the way that he played that Marvel game. You know, when you sign into a mobile game, there is the game, whatever it is. It's golf game. It's you know, a team battle, or it's whatever the hell it is. But there's always these side things you have to do to gain gems, to get this, to get boost, to upgrade your guys, to do that part. So I think that's just what they're trying to do. They're just taking Ganja Farmer and that concept of when you get here, there's a little bit more to do than just race. You need to sign in, you need to check in, you need to do your rounds, do your runs, and that will be how much you
don't you think they're gonna be giving away crops though and challenges as well? So there's gonna be ways for people, I think, to get crops even if they don't have.
But I think
go ahead, Dave.
If they do it right, there's two paths. There's the screen time person who, you know, spends their day in the game and they can get ahead. And there's the wallet person who spends their dollars in the game and they can get ahead. And if we do it really right, the screen time person is getting ahead based on the money of the dollar person, because we're benefiting by spending our time to get their dollars buying our crop, right? That's when the ecosystem in a game like this can be so much better than in a mobile game where the only person getting rich is the game developer.
So Butterman brings up, I think food will be earned by farming, staking, so serious players will have plenty of food to keep their birds full.
That's
if
interesting.
your bird isn't listed, your bird is always farming food.
So they have talked about not having your bird listed and that being a benefit. So yeah.
So what you're saying is say I got my 15 bird coop, I put 4 birds into the farming, whatever, and they're staking in there, meaning they can't do anything else, but they're growing the crops.
So like if they're in your coop and not listed, I would assume that they're doing something to get you something back.
Yeah, unless they're in the racing pen or something, they might be able to work something out like that. But
so the big line here next is the thing to keep in mind. Well, other than there are 700 plus things you can find in their metaverse as far as items, so there's that. And there's a few there, like a little pool with a duck in it, and a pretty cool little chicken praying, looks like. The next line, though, the metaverse is going to be a big part of Chicken Derby going forward, and we will provide a lot of exciting opportunities for our holders. Expect more details about it in our future devlogs.
Real quick on that staking thing, I'm just thinking, because that is kind of a good idea, because that would give you something to do with your shitty birds.
Yeah.
Right.
Besides fusion, like that's the thing, they're giving you a bunch of different. You can fuse them, you can breed them, you can stake them, you can farm them. Like I will say this, like even if there are worries, they are trying. They are trying to put a whole bunch of different factors into this game, so it feels a bit multifaceted, especially because, as Dave said a billion times, and we all know, it's a zero-sum game when it comes to the racing. So there's got to be something else that's here for those that have paid attention and are
negative sum game. In my case,
well, there's a rake right now, so it is a negative sum game.
Yeah, that's
only
true.
The house wins.
I have not looked at my total ROI, excuse me, in a long time. I'm scared.
Down. It's negative.
I know it's negative. It's just how big is that?
So
how big is that number after the decimal point?
Yeah, maybe don't show your wife that number.
I'll show my wife the names.
So that is all for the devlog. Big thing that came out the other day. If you're watching this and haven't been in the chat, check your hidden folder of your chicken wallet. If you participated in the 20K tournament and won some gear, won some chicken wearables, you won the 20K tournament medals or the superhero outfits, those will be in your hidden, and you need to move them out. So,
is it an abuse of my platform to try to get someone to trade me a vigilante mask? Okay, I'm sorry.
Hey, I think I might have one.
No trades.
Vigilante?
No trades on the main.
I've got some pretty good shit, I think. I haven't really
I got 2 of the same chest plate.
I got a whole 1 cape. So
there you go.
Wally, don't look at what?
Your
ROI.
Just don't look.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah.
Yeah, I got the vigilante chest plate and cape, but I don't have the mask. But I already had Crazy Jay trying to be like, want to trade me that thing? I said, no, get out of here.
No, I would
get out of here. Punk.
I've got 2 of the same noble chest plates that I would love to trade someone something. Whether it be, I think I was going to hit Cahill. Cahill's got some doubles.
Well, if you wanted the trading, that's that's for sure. We got the chats for that when we get in there and start kicking that around and see what they look like. Yeah, I think that's what's nice about it, is that the trading, they've made these things actually transferable now. So as you guys know, we are always there for you guys to be that the middleman for these trades if necessary. So
it's probably going to be a lot easier once the metaverse is open.
Oh yeah,
just you will move them from one to the 100%. Other, and then that's when you can wear them anyway. So I'm not in a real rush to make a trade now until we can even wear them. But yeah.
I want a cape and I want a mask.
We want to get them all.
Yeah. Yeah. So the dev blog, that was that. What else were we going to talk about?
Next week.
So before that, so we're 2 weeks into talents.
Yes.
Overall sentiment. Are you bored of them yet? Where are you guys standing as far as what you've seen now that we are now 2 weeks in?
Not bored of them. Still excited to figure out what they all do. I mean, we have some little things like the eye patch helicopter shoots 3 rockets. So, but that's not all it can do. That would be kind of insane that it only benefits 13 chickens in the game. So it has to do more. So there are
only 300 of them, mind you.
Yeah, no, I know, but but still, but to have 13, there has to be something else.
I know. I'm just saying the number of them are already low, so 13
Orbit
of them only doing something would be really strange.
But hear me out. Does there have to be more right now, or now that we know, are people going to be trying to make that in a breed down the next time
possible.
down the road?
That's possible,
possibly. But I think the fact that we've found a couple, or believe we found a couple, is exciting because it kind of indicates that we probably haven't found the bulk of these little little wrinkles that they threw in there. Like if they put in something for 13 birds, they could have put in anything for anything, really, right? Like your one of one bird might have a wrinkle.
Right. Well, as Whammo said here, this was actually one of the first ones found. The beak ring. If you have a beak ring, your head comes back before everyone else's from the machete, so it has a faster rebound on it. So there are a lot of these little things that can, and when I really looking at the API is not easy, and you definitely know what the hell you're looking at. And I have help from someone who knows what the hell they're looking at it when I'm looking at it, but it's all doable. That's all these things are very much doable. And overall sentiment on talents, I am without just this seeming like I'm just here to gush for the devs. I am here to gush for the devs. It's been seamless as hell, and it's a crazy amount of data that goes through. They really did. They really did. And we've been so like happy with the way this is. We've automatically turned our brains into critique mode. Like it's been so smooth that we're already critiquing, and that's fine. We should.
Can we just stop that 2 weeks in? They did not go down once. Yeah. Like we've only had our regular maintenance kind of rhythm that we've always had. They did not have to turn talents on, turn them off. They launched them and they stayed launched. And when we talked the day before talents went live, none of us were expecting.
We were expecting sessions like closed beta type sessions.
We're like, hopefully we get an hour of talents tomorrow.
I think at one point I was like, if we get like 5 hours, it's going to be awesome. And, it just kept going. And I think at some point someone was like, have they mentioned turning? I think it was you, Dave. I was like, have they mentioned turning talents off at all today?
Like, are they going off when they go to bed or anything?
No, letting them buck. Love it. So next week, next Sunday on Cock Talk will be the 1 year anniversary of Chicken Derby's first mint. I was there. Tyler was there. You were there.
I was there. Most of us were there.
A lot of you were here. So we're going to be doing some really fun stuff for that because the day after the 1 year anniversary of Chicken Derby's first mint is Cock Talk's birthday, which is Monday, which is the day we're not live. So next Sunday night, we will celebrate both. And how we'll be doing that is, the community is awesome, first and foremost. There's some 5 of you out there that threw some wearables our way for us to do with what we wanted to. And we, of course, are going to turn around and give them back to y'all. So we got 5 wearables that we'll give away next week. Let's see.
6 is I already said I was going to match one as well.
And yeah, we've got that. We'll be doing a chicken giveaway next weekend. We'll be doing what else was that, Tyler? Oh, we got a couple. We got a dev bird. We're gonna give away a dev bird. We're gonna give away a Coop Collective bird. Couple Coop Collective 548 barns. Couple we got a express tournament, express challenge, 8-slot express challenge that we'll be giving away all 8 slots, and the prize of $54 to commemorate our 54th episode will go to the winner of that 8-person express challenge. And then also we'll be doing a express bounty challenge, first of its kind.
Yeah,
that'll feature Tyler in the role of the bounty, and then we'll be giving away the other 7 slots to anyone. And then if you beat Tyler, all you gotta do is beat Tyler,
get a bird.
Express, and the winner of that will get a bird.
Yeah, so not beat me. All I have to do is get eliminated. If I win that, then screw you guys. You don't get a bird.
So those are the things we're planning on doing next weekend for our giveaway. So we want to, for our show, for our anniversary, we kind of wanted to have fun with it. It might be a long episode. I don't know. Bring snacks. Stick around.
And
bring a drink.
Some
bring
birds.
a friend.
Yeah. And Andrew Rose, hit me up in the Discord. We'll talk about that. I got some thoughts. That's cool. I'm sure if y'all that are in here, you've seen it, but he just said he would give me a vigilante mask if we did a little bit of swap and I gave something back to the community. So I'm all about that. I will figure out something to give back to the community. Let's talk that out.
I do not have it. I have inventive. Sorry.
That's all good. Yeah.
Whoop.
Wait, you have an inventive mask?
Yeah. I'm all about it at this point. I'm already going to be giving away at least one of the wearables I have. I think I made a deal with I forget who I made it with. Someone gave one away and I decided to match their deal. So yeah, we're going to be giving away a lot of shit next week.
Yeah, next weekend. Pretty much what I'm saying is don't miss next week's episode. It's the 1-year anniversary of Chicken Derby's Mint. It's the 1-year anniversary of this show. We're going to make it a blowout. We're going to have some fun with it. So bring your green hat.
Hey, bring a friend. Maybe you can get them a wearable and then they'll go and get some chicken.
Or a chicken and a wearable.
Yeah.
Other exciting things. I know, I think I saw ABC was thinking of putting on some little shindig racing deal after tournament. I know the ambassador program was going to be kicking
we all have these
off
thoughts
here soon.
We're trying to I think that's part of the ambassador program is to get all the sub communities also on the same page. So it's not like, like we throw out 3 different things at the same time and overwhelm everybody. We want these things. We just want there to be something to do all the time if possible. So that's what we're trying to push towards.
Yeah. Yeah. So next weekend we'll be doing that and celebrating 1-year anniversary. What else do we want to talk about? Happy long-term capital gains tax day for the early minted birds.
Yes.
Casey Jones falls into that
I have
category.
None of that.
Asshole.
I have none.
So
I've won. Yeah, I've won. I mentioned
the tournament for the Daily Double wraps up in 3 days, 20 hours from now, this point of live taping on Sunday evening at 10 p.m. Central Time. So be on the lookout for some other things to come after that ends later this week. Like I said, next week's show will be a big one. So make sure you guys stop by for that.
Mm-hmm.
What else you guys want to talk about? Anything in particular? Oh, yeah. Wamola said that my Devo went off when I was in first place in a race while we were talking about it.
I think he was joking.
No.
It actually happened? Okay.
You can't trust
it did.
No.
But
you need to watch every race.
Here's the kicker. I looked at the results and he ended up 12th.
Well, he said he got blue egged after the fact. So.
Oh yeah, there it is.
But then he said JK. So I don't know. I guess what you'll have to watch and find out. So.
Yeah. But yeah. Anything else anyone wants to bring up? No.
No. This is
stick landing.
Yeah, in the end, I think I think 1 year in has just been pretty damn cool, and I can't gush enough about how the talents are just kind of taking over, and it just feels like they're primed that the game is humming at this point, and they're primed to start dropping in all these little goodies and things they've been promising us. So they said they got Apex said in the chat at one point they got a lot planned for the rest of the year in quarter 3 and 4. So. I'm not here to tell anything about what the market's going to look like or anything like that, but there's going to be some fun stuff happening, and I'm excited for the rest of the year.
Weren't there some nuggets dropped this week? He was kind of on a roll there one day, just dropping stuff in the chat about future. The future.
The biggest one I saw was the no rake thing.
Yeah, that was like, I don't know. Part of me still feels like that was a half troll job because of the conversation that was happening about.
But no, because I think they're looking at the metaverse, and I think that they believe that they're going to look at that's going to be their money making operation, not the racing. The racing is designed to, as Dave says, a zero-sum game.
Because you know who? Yeah, never mind.
Yeah. So here's a little bit of that run that he was going on. He said, after the marketplace update, we will start development on the breeding feature. So cool. I know they've talked about it and they have mapped it out in their heads, but they'll actually start the development of it. That's cool. He did say marketplace is incoming and has used the word soon, but we'll see. They said we have a lot of traffic to our website, also many new visits. So onboarding must become more user-friendly. And having OpenSea as a third party is just bottleneck for the onboarding experience. Couldn't agree more. Then he said, this is all Apex, by the way. This will be a fun year, lots of developments, also outside the original scope we had planned. Renting is something I'm excited about, more tourneys, wearables, possibly an affiliate program for promoters, and much more.
I liked. Yeah. That one is cool. That was the thing weeks ago when they had the AMA, how they wanted to integrate more for the content creators and stuff like that and get it more involved with things. That's a step right there. Yeah. And I like it.
There's a little bit more here worth noting. In just a few months, we've done a dozen of updates, and we're not letting this momentum go. We've discussed generating video clips with highlights from the races for easy sharing and instant viewing. It's a pretty big task, but I think it's possible. So once they have a little bit of free time, they're going to start doing that part. So it's more than right now. They added that share to Twitter button, which is cool, but to be able to actually clip something right there and just share it will be awesome. And when
if they do that, then that means you should be able to rewind the race. Right?
Yeah,
if you have the ability to save clips, then they have to have some type of pause rewind setting there as well.
Mm-hmm.
I always want to go back. I want to rewind 10 seconds. What happened?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, dude. I'll be sitting there watching a race and maybe making dinner or making some lunch, and I'll turn around like, I didn't look. Did my talent go off? I just got distracted for a second. Right. They just said last couple of things here. We can do third-party integrations. That's something on our watch list. Right now, it's important that it's easy join, easy to share, stays fun to play. And for what it's worth, there was some discussion about, again, what breeding would do. And way back some time ago, they talked about they're going to look into the idea of new traits and new talents. And again, it was said directly by Apex, I like the idea of new talents for breeding. So there it is again. So that's very exciting for me.
We've talked about it months and months ago and speculated on the possible, mixing of matching of, you mix two ultra rares, you get a new ultra rare, something weird like that. Like, I like the idea of that.
Being the first one to get a new talent,
going, keep the game. What am I trying to say? To keep the game fresh and on, always interesting and engaging, always all that, adapting or evolving, and absolutely.
So why not the ability to add a second talent to your bird?
Ooh. So they could do one of two.
One or the other.
Never know. Maybe you could choose which one you put in.
That's what's funny you say that. I thought about that, but for the bred generation. So like when you breed two birds together, what if that bird comes out with the multi? You get one of two talents. You could, say you mix it a cougar with a black hole. Sometimes you get a black hole. Sometimes you get a cougar.
Sometimes you get a black cougar.
Yeah, black hole runs into a cougar, or cougar runs into a black hole.
Cougar goes into the black hole and it turns into a wormhole and then shoots out the other end. Yeah.
Just win.
Okay,
Everybody else is DNF. Everybody else.
Don't give them all
the DNF is awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I'm just excited for all that. I love it when he just splurges like that. It's been a while since he's gone on a little tangent about all the happenings outside of the dev blog.
Somebody must be on vacation.
He sent Deli out for lunch that day. Yeah, and he was like, all right, here we go.
He's also been really busy lately.
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely. They've been nuts on this.
Who's got time to chat when you got talents to launch?
But talent's been launched 2 weeks. Should be sipping on some Mai Tais.
Now he's chatting.
Them. No.
Well, because they were working 7 days a week to get talents out. So
yeah,
maybe now he's only working like 60 hours a week.
Yeah, not living at the office.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So next week is a big one, fam. Stop by, swing by, do what you can, spread the word. We'll be hyping it all week.
Absolutely, yeah.
It'd be kind of cool maybe if somebody wanted to make a special guest appearance. I don't know the name of CDA.
I'll be here.
Yeah.
I don't know, some old guy like
Never
that
know.
named Deli, something.
Yeah.
I don't know. 1 year, no big deal. It's just 1 year.
Deli.
Yeah, 1 year. We've been waiting 1 year. You can wait a few more weeks.
A couple there. You never know.
Never.
Anyways, so we got these 548 barns. You can bid on them on OpenSea, 0.05.
Yep.
That's $50. Get you in.
Yeah, we got a few more people joined up. That's
Coop
cool. Really
Collective
appreciate that.
Yeah. So it help us out and get in on that, and so we can help y'all out. A lot of perks with that. Yeah. Next week, big show. I don't know what else to say. Talents have been kicking ass.
Races.
Keep racing.
Race your
keep
birds.
grinding the daily double.
4 days left.
3 days,
3
20
days.
hours.
Mhm.
So get those 50 races so you can get the double scoop ice cream cones. Yes. That's the show this week.
Keep it rolling.
We'll see you next time.
See ya.
Bye. I'm Grateful Coops, MBF Express, Waddle, Pet.
Don't throw those Dorito crumbs away.
I was gonna do all that really fast.
Oh, man.